Okie dokie. So I think we are live. Yep, I think we are good to go. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a little bit of a earlier stream. I've never really streamed this early before, or I probably have, but I don't remember. And today we're gonna be doing something a wee bit different, and that is we're gonna be doing a bit of a design stream. We're actually gonna be not returning back to like the let's design kind of stuff, but instead we're gonna be starting something a little bit new, and that is the well, I am rebranding, I guess, one last time, or I guess a half rebranding before my actual model comes out. And before that though, I want to apologize. I don't really know what's going on specifically. My screen might be flickering because like right now I have like my iPad right here. I'm kind of, I'm like doing some resizing and stuff like that, but I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if what I'm using is not optimal, but like sharing my screen seems to be like half working and half not working. So I don't really know what's going on. I don't know why it like flickers every now and then. So I'm sorry about that, I guess. But anyway, so what I wanted to do was use the iPad today. I mean, this is Procreate, but I wanted to use the iPad today to sort of do some initial, sketching of my next, stream art. And this is actually something that I want to continue on doing. I do want to do more like design related streams, and a really big part of design is, well, doing the initial outlining and like, writing down your ideas out on, well, paper originally, but I have this device, so might as well. I was debating on whether using this or I whip out my old like $60 drawing tablet, and maybe the drawing tablet might have been a bit better at the end of the day, because I mean I would have loved to do the iPad because I get to look down and like I get to see where like my pen goes. I would like to figure out why this keeps on flickering. I don't know if this is a iOS issue or iPad OS issue, or if this is a Windows issue, or maybe I just don't have proper drivers installed. I probably don't have proper drivers installed actually. Probably. Let's see. So I'm just gonna go to like Elgato. I think it's called Screen Link. Or well, yeah. I wouldn't really know. I think it. Well, Screen Link is more of like it's on the actual device itself rather than like an actual cable. And I would have to use Elgato stuff. I wouldn't be able to use OBS. So I guess we're kind of stuck with this until I figure out why it keeps on flickering. But anyway, so until I figure it out, that's kind of what we're gonna be using this for now. Maybe next time I might use something like the drawing tablet. But anyway, so we're gonna be doing some initial outlining today, and I've given myself a grand total of 2 to 2.5 hours. So I kind of want to finish up by 2:30 p.m. I think that's plenty of time, but we're gonna be designing practically everything, or really outlining everything, before we go into something like Illustrator. So the first thing that I want to sort of figure out is, well, first we need to go ahead and lay down our rules, right? So what we can and cannot do, more specifically what we can do. So our name. All right, let's go ahead and just type in name, or not type, but write in name here with my amazing handwriting, right? And our name is Ryo Arce. So this is our new name. We were once Soro, which Soro was a derivative of fox, but I actually kind of like Arce a little bit better. I think it flows a bit more. Ryo Arce versus Ryo Soro, because like there's that there's a lot of air coming out, right? You're kind of already letting out air when you're saying ryo, right? Ryo, you're adding air's going down, or air's being let out, and then you're kind of doing it again with so. But arce, you're kind of allowing air to come back in. So I think it's a bit of an easier time saying ryo arce than ryo soro, right? Then of course, right, not everybody can pronounce the double R's, whereas arce is a little bit better, right? So like or hold on, not but arce is kind of like how you'd pronounce it, arce. But anyway, yep, so arce means oak or maple tree. I think that was pretty neato, maple tree. And I want that maple tree to be, or trees really, to be a prevalent theme throughout this sort of like design, right? I did initially have maybe like I think I still have the files, but a long time ago, trees were actually like really important to the design of what I was going to be doing. So it feels kind of nice to come back to that. Like my original, like back in the day, first gen graphics were using trees. I just didn't like the way that they looked. But now that we're a little bit more skillful with both Illustrator and I guess sketching. So I want to go ahead and try again. So we already have our name. And now we're going to go ahead and designate the rules of the color. So I want to have a total of 5. Oh, why are we... Let's go ahead and get this. Okay. So I want to have a total of 5 colors. Oh, let's make it a little bit thinner. Actually, let's get a different pen. I don't know why this one wants to... Okay. Let's go ahead and get a total of 5 colors. So I want them to be I want them to be kind of the following. I want there to be a dark color, something for like backgrounds, right? So we're gonna just do a circle right here. We're gonna go and color it in there. Next up is I want to have something for a light color, also for backgrounds, but sort of a contrast to this guy. So these guys are going to go be like a contrast to each other. So little circle to sort of like color it in. Next up, I want there to be a dark highlight. So my current logo, this would be kind of like the main color. Not the main color, but like a darkish kind of like burgundy color. Like, yeah, I guess that's kind of what I have right now. So this is going to be used as part of the logo and maybe even shadows for if I have any like 3D objects. I know that's kind of a weird, there you go, shadow. And then draw a little circle here for the color. There you go. Next up is, now the next 2 are actually going to be the highlights. So like the brighter highlights. So highlight. And it's going to be more of the white, or no, actually, never mind. It's going to be highlight color 1, and highlight number 2. So this was like the bright red of my previous logo. This I want to have 2. So now we kind of have options, but they're going to be relating to each other. So the colors themselves are going to be a part of like the warmer kind of tones. Yeah, it's going to be a lot warmer. So let's go ahead and figure out our dark color background. Of course, right, black and white are going to be used, but let's go ahead and figure out like good like dark colors. So see, like we're probably going to keep the same theme of like darkish red, burgundy kind of color. Let's see if this is fine. Let's go ahead and get ourselves painting. So we have like, so we have a better idea. Let's see, this is, that's way too big. Oh, yeah, there you go. So I want something like this. So we get to see like a good idea of the background color. And then for the light color, I was thinking more of like close to white, but still a little bit of hint of that red. So something like this. Very similar to what we have right now, actually, as our main like color. Sort of these 2 differences. Maybe I kind of want it to be a bit whiter. More like leaning more towards white than anything. I think that's just the same color. Let's go ahead and make it, I guess, grayer, or maybe not grayer. Maybe that is fine the way it is. Sort of like a lightish color that can be used again for like, you know, text. Next up, so dark highlight. So this is going to be used for logos and shadows. So this is where we get to be a little bit more creative with like, well, not creative, but a little bit more lenient with like what color we actually choose next. So this will be, again, a darkerish red, but not too dark. So maybe here would be like a good color, kind of like this like blood red. Yeah, that looks pretty neat. Dark highlight. So this again will be used for like shadows or something along those lines. All right, and next up are the highlights. So these guys are gonna be like the bright colors, something like this. And then I also want to have like one more. So I was thinking like a golden color would be pretty nifty, but I'm also trying to think of like my current character, like what, maybe a yellow would be nice, or like a goldish color would be pretty nice as a highlight tone. This can be used like sparsely, so like only in certain areas, like to, again, like kind of pick it up a bit more. So I think these colors are nice so far. So again, this is our this, let's use, this is like a little, okay, go. So this is kind of our background color. So kind of like my current setup. So like if we were to go to like scene 2, for example, you see how like in the background, it's like that darkish color. That's kind of what we're going for. Maybe it should be even darker. It should really, really be like dark. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe this could be also a little bit darker as well. Maybe really getting into like the burgundy part of town, maybe, yeah. Okay. But we kind of lose that red, yeah. Maybe, okay, I'm gonna stick with this. And this will be like our darkish color, this like really brown world right here. But anyway, so this is gonna be used for backgrounds like, let's say, maybe thumbnail work or anything like for Twitter, like social media. This will be like the color for the background. And this, as I mentioned, this will be updated. This sort of like background color thing right here. That's gonna be updated. I want, there's a little bit of a stutter. I want to fix that. That's all gonna be happening before the actual like date or quote debut day, the 3D the model debut. Light color. This is gonna be used for things like text and yeah, I think I'm gonna be using this color mainly for anything that's like written in like a thumbnail. So next up is, this is gonna be kind of also, it's also gonna be used for text and gonna be used a lot for the actual logo itself. Also, if you kind of notice that, like if you look at the loading, like if you look at Ryo, right, notice how there's 3 tones. There's that light color, there's that dark there's another highlight color, and the dark highlight color. We're gonna be sort of doing that again. Maybe I should hold on. Maybe I don't know why I'm like upset with this color. I want to have like that color again. I think that's fine. And then like we can have this be like even lighter or something like that. Like, yeah, actually I guess this like salmon color is fine. Maybe this needs to be just a little bit darker. Just like straight up red. No. It needs to be here, maybe? I still want it to be like relatively bright. Yeah, I think that's fine. Because I want these 3 things to like work together. Yep, and then these highlights, they're just going to be, yeah, this is going to be used the least amount. This guy right here. This guy is going to be used the least amount. This is going to be like the main sort of like, this is going to be sort of the main highlight color right here. This is what's going to be used primarily for, why is weird, okay, go. This is going to be primarily used for like a lot of, again, like the highlighted stuff. But yeah, and also, I mean, this is going to be used for logos mostly, and maybe like things that I want attention to be brought to, but maybe not like, I don't want it to be too distracting, since that's kind of what the point of the highlighted colors. But anyway, so we have defined our colors. We defined our rules for Ryo Arise. That's kind of like the name that we're going to be going for. So now let's go ahead and do some like initial sketching of like what the actual logo will be like. So last night I got to thinking, right? And what I wanted to do was maybe something like where Ryo and like, well, like the main Ryo part, right? Something like this. This was going to be highly stylized. There's going to be quite a bit of, yeah, like a lot of design going into this. And then I was thinking like what it could be is like the Y kind of goes over here, and then maybe say it happens down here in the bottom. So kind of like what we have right now. But what I wanted to do was have like each one of the letters up here be like showing off something. Okay, let's go back to sketching. Each one of these shows something different. So, for example, the Ryo could have like ears, right? So like something like this, or maybe not like that, but like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like has the way that my ears are, right? The Y could like come out here into like a tail, kind of like how the current, like if we look at the O, you see how the O kind of like goes into a tail? something like that, where the Y goes into a tail, and then the O instead, I want the O to have, as you can see, like with my character, if I kind of take away the iPad here, you see how it has like an apron? So it is actually wearing the apron. So something like, you know, we can have it like the straps go back here, but it's actually wearing the apron, so it can be like designed that way. So each part is representative of my character. So the R has the ears, the Y has the tail, and the O has the what's it called, the apron. So it keeps on flickering. I wonder, hold on, let's see if I can like figure out why this keeps on flickering. Is it just bad placement of the HDMI, or is it really like this dongle that I have here is just really bad? I don't know, I've had this dongle for a while. I wouldn't know why it's acting this way. Let's see. Maybe the flickering will stop finally. Maybe. Okay. So, oh, never mind. It's back. I wonder what's causing that. I guess what I'll do is I'll boot this up in the background. My $60 drawing tablet. And then open up something like, do I have Krita still installed on this? I do still have Krita installed. Now, which stylus did I use? Hey, we can try this. See, will this be a little bit more stable? Let's see. Hopefully this, because if it's not this, then it's the cable that's the issue. Just gonna wait here before like flickering. All right, well, nothing so far. I do have the drawing tablet here. That's not the right pen for it though, so maybe we're kind of really screwed here. No flickering just yet. Okay, I guess we can kind of continue with this. The only issue is that I'm not really charging the iPad right now. Let's see, let's see if I can do this. It's gonna be a little bit of a janky setup, boys, but you know, the lucky part about streaming is that you guys don't get to see the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, you see I'm like flipping it over because I'm putting it into my case, which allows it to charge. Oh, I got a little bit unplugged there. Let's see, maybe. Yeah, it's like super jank. Hold on. I can fix this. No, there you go. See, we're learning. We're learning. Okay, there we go. And now I can charge this guy like that. Okay, so I think we're charging, right? Yeah. Okay, so we can continue now. A little bit of a, not the most ergonomic setup ever, but it's fine, I guess. So again, so we have ourselves Dio. It's the O is gonna be kind of like an apron, Y is gonna be like in a tail, and the R is gonna have the ears. And what I'm thinking is that the actual Dio part is gonna be custom typography, whereas Arce could be some like sans serif font that we can get from like the Adobe store or something. So yeah, so as the ears, so yeah, they're gonna be a bit more bubbly, kind of like how the current setup is, or the current logo is gonna be pretty bubbly. And but I also kind of, well, okay, I was about to contradict myself. So I did say bubbly, but also at the same time like blocky, I guess. So, you know, something like strokes like this. You see, like it kind of like rounds out down here, but it's still pretty blocky. So this can be like the stem of like the R, right? So something like that, where, and then we can have like the 3 different colors come in here, kind of like how we have with our current logo, right? Like the bright red, the red, and like a dark color right here. And then the R, I mean like the other part of the R. I mean, this is not final, but no, just like sketching. This is, okay, this is really bad, but still, like, I want the ears to like pop up out of here or something like that. So let me like try that again. So let's just do like a regular R, and then like it would be, let's just like color in what I want it to be like. There we go. So it looks like we haven't really had any like stuttering yet. So maybe it was that dongle. That kind of sucks. The dongle was pretty expensive. And like this could like kind of taper off over here. Okay. Maybe like a big, thick boy R over here. But anyway, so we can have like something like this where there's ears that connect. So we have our ears like, maybe not like in that corner, actually, maybe like up here. Or maybe we don't have to do anything to the R. I was just thinking like maybe we can do like the flowers thing that we have going on with our design, because I do want to keep the little plus flower thing. Maybe that can be like here, like the little pluses. Because now I'm thinking about it, maybe the ears might not look very good, in my opinion. So I think we should just do like the stars of my current logo here, and then continue with like the tail part of the Y and the apron part of the O. I could put the apron in the R, but I think the O would look a little bit nicer. Since, you know, it's a little bit easier to design. And also another cool thing about not having the surname Zorro is that S's are the bane of my existence. So hello, how you doing? How's it going, Judd? I'm just working on my next graphic work, so like my stream art, and I'm kind of rebranding from Dio Zorro to something else, to Dio Arce, and I'm just like working on my various color work. So my model is still kind of work in progress. Let's see if I kind of show you. There you go. You see model coming soon. Almost there. But we're not quite there yet. And I'm kind of just preparing by making my stream art. Or sketching out my stream art. And right now, I'm working on the main Dio part. So I'm deciding on if I should add like the ears of my character on the R, or if I should just not add the ears. Yeah. Try to figure that out, but I do want the Y to have sort of the tail, kind of like my current logo, as you can see. Oh, there you go. The O kind of goes into the tail part. I want to have something like that, but with the Y instead. That's what I want to do, like a nice big fluffy tail, because I did see like the design of my character. There is a big tail at the end, so that's kind of what I want to have here. So something like that, like a tail at the end of the Y. And the apron part of the O is, you know, kind of my apron that I have right here. There we go. Since that is a pretty big part of my character, this apron. So anyway, so back to the R. So the R is going to be like a little plus, kind of how I have with my design currently. The Y itself, I think it should also be pretty bubbly, kind of how we have the R. Yeah, I know, right? It looks pretty cute. The design of everything. And I've also decided on the colors, right? So the colors that I decided with are this sort of darkish brown color as, again, background. Maybe things for example, my little animation thing right here in the background, as you can see, it's kind of like moving the pluses. That little dark color in the back, that's kind of what this color is going to be. The white, it's really hard to see, but there is a color there. That's going to be mainly for the text. And things like, well, it's going to be maybe the primary highlight color. I said text, but it can be things like an arrow. But I think that's better left for this guy, which is a darker highlight. This might be subject to change, this red, as I'm still debating on it or not. It's going to be kind of like, you see the color that's used in the Y. I might just like repurpose it. The color that's, like the middle color in between that darker red on top and the white. It might be something like that. So it's sort of like the main color, if you will. I call it a dark highlight, but I guess it's like the main color. And then last but not least, it's going to be 2 highlight colors. So I decided on either this highlight of like a salmonish red or this yellow. I want to have 2. So it's kind of like figuring out, yeah, like things such as maybe text, a little sparkle, or once again, the logo, right? It can be something like in the bottom or like on the top, something that like makes it pop. And I wanted something that's different from the reds that I currently have. Right now I have like a trio of red, but maybe a yellow might be good as well. Something to like pop in every now and then. Granted, my character doesn't have yellow. I thought it was gonna have yellow, like little bells, but it's not. So yellow would be like the goldish color would be pretty nice, I think. But anyway, so those are the 5 colors that I decided could be subject to change, especially this guy right here might be a little bit different in the future. But yeah, so back to the Y. So the Y, it's just going to be a pretty simple like Y. Luckily, right, in my sort of typography classes, S's were like the worst thing ever. Designing S's are incredibly difficult, and luckily we don't have that, right? Because we changed our name to Arce instead of Zorro. So back to here. So our Y's are incredibly easy. So it's just that it's this tail part that might be a little bit of a pain, but I might do what I did with the O, and I think it was pretty easy in Illustrator to do, sort of like really come out here and create this like little part right here, kind of a little like pointy part that you would have like at the end of a tail, and then kind of come back into the sort of backbone, the spine of the Y, as you can see right here. And let's just fill it in to see what that looked like. So maybe like, let's just mold it a little bit more. There we go. Kind of like that. Yeah. So mold it. There you go. So maybe we might angle it a little bit differently. Let's try that. Let's angle it a bit better. So kind of underneath the R. There we go, like this. There you go, kind of like a fox tail. There we go, so something like that, but we still know that it's a Y. There we go, so I think people can figure out that's still a Y, or maybe we can like make the top part of the Y over here, this sort of these arms of the Y, we can make this a bit more distinct. So people like, it's kind of unmistakable that this is a Y. So it kind of leads into this, one of the arms of the Y, but then it kind of also branches out to here. There we go, like that. Or maybe, okay, the Y would be a little bit different. We're still in the sketching phases, so it doesn't have to be incredibly perfect. And then the O, so the O is going to be hard to sort of do like a little silhouette of, because it's going to look pretty messy. But we're going to have the arms of the latches of the apron be on this side, kind of come around here. So if you can see that, right, these are the arms of the apron, and it kind of just comes down like this. We're still going to have the O be designed in a way that we know that it's an O, like, you know, have it be thick over here and have that little hole in the center of the O, right there, or something like that. but this is gonna be like just big apron right here. Kind of what we have right now. There we go, like an apron. Kind of just color it in. So now we have a better idea of what we're gonna be like looking for when we go into Illustrator. And I'm gonna be exporting this so that we can use it. Yep. So, and then maybe we can add like more little sparkles and stuff, kind of like how we have these little pluses up here. We could do something like that. So this is what we have so far. Let me get rid of this ugly whatever this is. Get out of here, please. I don't want you anymore. There we go. Get out of here. All right. Well, I mean, luckily we fixed the technical problems. The iPad isn't flickering anymore. So maybe it was this dongle. Damn, that kind of sucks. This dongle was like $60 and not even working right. Okay, so, or maybe we don't have to add anything to the R. Maybe we can just let the Y and the O speak, right? Because that's kind of what we have over here, no? Like we kind of just have the R do its thing and the O is kind of what's like stylized. Maybe we could just do that straight up. And then like we can really go hard with like the apron, the way that's going to be designed in the Y as well. We can do that. And then of course, right, I'd say like down here. I'd say would be like right there. Okay, so that's what we have so far. This is like Gen V1. This is V1 design. Let's go ahead and make a bit more of a revised version. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do R, just a regular R. Let's do like this, or maybe trying to figure out like a good, like that. There we go. So this, okay, so we have an R right here. So we can go ahead and like kind of build from here. So what I want is more bubbly, rectangular kind of design, as we erased it with the old R, but something like this. So once again, we're kind of just sketching out here. Nothing is completely final, but we're gonna come up and kind of come down here. And maybe this is where we kind of come on over here. Maybe a little bit of a round thing right there. Let's see what that looks like. Again, kind of like a rectangular but still roundy kind of design. Come down here and round it off there. So let's go ahead and erase the stuff that's in the middle that we don't want to see, like this, and see what this guy looks like. I kind of want to do most of like the hard work here, because all I want to do in Illustrator is just straight up draw the little boxes and all the shapes and make it look better. But this, I want all the hard work, all the actual like thinking to be done here. So let's not do that. Maybe that looks a little bit off. We should have the leg of the R. Maybe come a bit more over here. Okay. I think it's actually more of a problem with this approach down here. That's of the R. That's a bit more of a difficult thing. Okay. Or maybe this like stem over here might be a bit too much. And then hopefully, like, once we have like a good brand identity, what we can do next is work on animations for things like when somebody follows or somebody subscribes, because I don't really have anything right now for that. Yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting to figure out, this sort of like big hole here with the R. We might just make it like as equidistant from the edges as possible. That's kind of what like a good safe thing to do when you're designing an R. Make like the distance between here and here equal all around. There you see. There we go. The R could be a little bit better. How do we have it? Let me go to studio mode and just like look. Yeah, so we do have it like incredibly thick actually. Kind of like bold. Let's fix that actually. Try again. I would get like an actual font for this, but you know, we have the opportunity to make our own typography, and that's what I want to do. So I'm just gonna like reference what we have right now. Nice thick bottom right here, and something that goes over to here and then comes down. There we go. I'm just looking at the old logo for this. Nice thick boy R right here. There we go. Coming back up again. We're gonna go and erase that. And now kind of come up like this. I think I'm starting to like this a bit better, and it kind of just like flattens out up here. Oh, kind of messed up there. Kind of like the ergonomics right now of what I'm using is a little bit wacky. There we go. And now let's come in and sort of clean this up a little bit more. And then for this one, we have a pretty tiny opening, so it's gonna be something like this. So to really emphasize this is like a thick boy R. Let's try that again. Is it equidistant? It is actually equidistant, so whatever we choose here has to be the same all around. There we go. And let's extend this a bit more so it's like the same. So like it's right here, they're both the same at the bottom. Let's go ahead and erase this, make it a little bit cleaner. There we go. So this is the R, so that's what it could look like. So now the Y. So the Y is going to be pretty difficult. It's our first like actual design challenge here. So let's go ahead and figure that boy out. We could change, and I'm not liking this. I like the way that the R looks. It's just that I don't like the way the little hole is like looking. Maybe it should follow the like this. So this is like something like that. It looks like. So now we should do. Again, I should follow this. Follow that. There we go. And there we go. And there we go. Oh. All right, we'll leave it like that for now. And now let's work on the Y. So I want it to be a lowercase y. And once again, we kind of want to make sure that like people know that this is a Y by making sure like the stem is really clear, especially when we're coming in through this side, coming into like the actual tail portion. We need to really make sure that like it can be identified as a Y. We could make it extremely stylized and just like hopefully people will understand that it's supposed to be a Y, but we'll try to make it look like a Y. I guess we come up here. So now the important part, coming down here and into the actual like tail part. So this we're just going to be doing like just kind of like chicken sketching like this. And now the fluffy part of the tail, we can do something like this. It kind of comes up and into you. Okay. Okay. So it kind of goes into the Y again, and then this can sort of like connect right here, like that. So we're kind of going more into the tail, kind of like making it a bit more sturdy. See, I don't think people will mistake that for being a Y. Maybe we can make this a little bit taller. Erase this part right here. Make you a little bit taller as well. There we go, right like that. There we go. So there we go, we have a little tail part, and now all we need to do is design that O. The O might be a little bit, probably the most challenging one so far, because we're actually adding an element versus like modifying the actual letter. So the O, let's just do the actual like O part. So we're probably gonna keep this like a straight up circle. That's probably the easiest part. Making it just a circle. A normal little circle right here. Okay. There we go. Like an O. The O should be a bit closer to the Y. So maybe like this. It kind of like curves in, right? Does that look fine for the O? It could be. Let's finish up the O. Again, these should all be like the same like height. So let me just like have this as like a guide. Doing this, making sure that like we have, is that a fine? Yeah, I think that's good. That's good so far. Erase this little guideline right here. Okay, so we have our O. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the little like part in the middle here, even though most of it is probably gonna be gone. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the apron part. So the apron, what my apron looks like, let's go ahead and get rid of the iPad real quick, is it kind of comes in here and it gets bigger as it goes down. So something like this. Kind of comes out right here. There we go, like that. And we have the arms kind of like, or the little like latch or little straps of the apron. There you go. Kind of wrap around the O like this. Like that. There we go. There you go. So now let's go ahead and color this in so it's a bit easier to see, because it's kind of just like sketching a little, or really just let me erase this part of the O so we know that this is like the apron part. Okay, be careful here. Oh, let's zoom in here, make it a little bit thinner. There we go. And come here and sort of like clean this up a bit. There we go. And then over here as well, clean you up a bit more. It's easier to see. Okay, so there we go. We have our little apron thing. And then we have like a little pocket or whatever that's like right here. A little pocket of our apron. Okay, so that could be just like our logo straight up. Like nothing more, nothing else. Because I was going to add ears, but I feel like that's a little too much now. Now kind of looking at it, I like the simplicity of this right now. Maybe it is a little bit barren up here in the top left with the R, but I don't know about adding the ears though. That might be a little too much. We could do like our, well, like what our arms are doing, where we have like like straps coming down here and then like a little loop. But I don't know, maybe just keeping it nice and clean like that is fine. Again, maybe like little pluses that we have with our design might be fine. Like a little thing right here. In here. Like you see little pluses that we have there. Actually, what would the ears look like if they were here? Let's see. If they were here. There's ear number 1. And here's ear number 2. Now just like a little like fluffy part. Maybe that would look good actually if we had it the ears. Yeah, I think like having something in the top left would be pretty good. So now my ears, let me actually reference the actual design real quick. Gotta go to Twitter for this. Let me look at the actual design. Okay, so my ears are pretty big. Okay, so let's go ahead and erase you. Okay, let's go ahead and begin with the actual size of the ears. So it's like going really up here. Okay, and now something like that. This is like this is me referencing the actual like design of my model, which isn't too far from what I have my little dude right here with my representation dude. And now like the fluffy part of the ears. We can kind of figure that out in Illustrator what to do with that. Okay, and now comes up like this, and one last time, kind of come over here, comes back down, and now like the little fluffy part. Okay, so the ears might look really good, kind of like that if we're able to figure that out. All right, and then we have like a little part of the tail, maybe like make it a little bit more interesting, and then of course like add say right over there in the bottom. Cool. All right, and let's see, could I take this and copy it? I think I can. Ooh, like that. And let's do a bit of a copy and a bit of a paste, just so I can like work with this one guy over here. We can like color it in a bit more so it's not super crowded. Okay, let's go ahead and work on some coloring, just like, yeah, basic coloring. So let's go ahead and grab you. You will be like our darkest color, so you're gonna be down here. So let's go ahead and do something like this where it goes whoop. Okay, so now everything below that will be colored. Maybe I should get like an actual painting brush. Oh. There we go. Okay, let me hold down the iPad here. I press really hard on the iPad. Don't want it to fall over. It's in like a case right now. The case that I have allows it to charge, but as long as I have the case open, it charges. So I gotta keep it up like this. Ooh. Again, not the most ergonomic thing in the world, but I guess it'll do. There we go. Okay, come on over here. And now finish you off here. We'll like come in with like an eraser and clean up the rest. Like that. Okay. So first bit of color here. And then, that's going to be kind of weird though. Okay, maybe it's actually better if I do keep this white because the tail is going to be white. So maybe we should be using this color instead. So kind of like what we have right now. Yeah. So like the tail is going to be like white, and or we can have it like this color. So maybe we should have also like this bottom section be that color. We'll keep the, no, let's get rid of the outline. There we go, like this. Coming down here. There we go. And over here as well. We can maybe create another layer and like add a darker background so we get to see what this actually looks like, because I know it's a little bit difficult to see. Well, I think it's actually I think easier to see on like the playback than it is on the actual iPad. Now looking at like the preview, it's a little bit easier to see. There we go. Okay, and now the actual tail part. Color it in. And finish you. Okay, cool. And then hopefully later on when this is complete, what we can also do is head into After Effects and maybe add some like little neat animations, because what I wanted to do, right, the moving background of what I previously had, that was just like a GIF that was just looping over and over, or like a video that I had just looping over and over. But I think with OBS, what it does is it like, whenever the new video begins, it like stutters for a second. So maybe it might actually just be better to just straight up make like a 10-minute video of it like looping, or having the background looping. But I think a harder challenge would be something like the actual animation on like the stream itself. I don't know if like we have to keep that stuttering or something like that, but that's like definitely some research I have to do to figure out how to have like an animated background and like not have it stutter or like reset itself within OBS. But especially for like the loading screen, that can be like an easy 10-minute video that just plays on loop forever. Go up here. Cool. Let's color this in a bit more. There we go. Yeah, so this is looking a lot of like what I thought of last night before the stream. Just like I don't want to come in like empty-handed. Thought about all of this. Here we go. Kind of coming up here. Okay, cool. So that's gonna be like the tail part. And last but not least is the apron. So let's go have like this bottom part colored in as well. There you go. Awesome. Sweet. So that's going to be the bottom color. And now let's actually get rid of this little like red line here. There we go. Now that we know what the division is. And now let's go ahead and work on the next color, which I think is going to be this red right over here. The one that we originally wanted to choose. There we go. So this is going to be, oh, there it is. This is going to be probably like something like that. We'll like fix it later. But anyway, let's go ahead and color this boy in. Sort of like a tri-color kind of thing. Let's try a different brush. Actually, no, this is fine. Some relaxing coloring in on a Monday afternoon. I was gonna say a Monday morning, but it's not Monday morning. I was gonna stream in the morning, but I woke up late, so it's gonna be Monday afternoon. And as mentioned, I'm probably going to go ahead and head out around 2-ish. So we have one more hour of just coloring in and like coming up with like a pretty good final design before we head out for today. And now it's just going to be figuring out, well, tomorrow's probably going to be part 2 to all this. I want to see how much I can complete before I have to go into Illustrator. I want to complete as much as possible. And I think we've done a lot of significant work. So, I mean, even if we stop right now, I feel like we've done a lot of work because we've done like the big bulk of like sketching and like designing. And all we really need to now is build. You know, that's kind of the easiest part, actually building. It's just, it's the thinking and like the actual designing that's the hardest part. That takes a while. And, you know, we've kind of come up with an idea so far. And kind of the point of today was to ensure that whatever I had in mind comes true, or like what I envisioned last night comes true. So we're gonna go ahead and come in here. Again, not the cleanest lines, but Illustrator is gonna fix that. There we go. And yesterday I tried streaming, what's it called? I tried streaming, or was it yesterday? Either yesterday or the day before. I tried streaming some Mario Kart, and I don't know what was going on, but it kept on messing up. Like, no. First I tried doing zombies, and zombies kept on messing up like a lot. I don't know. This is like the worst I've ever seen it. Like, the game won't even like load. It didn't even get to like the main menu. It always just like crash. And I don't know if maybe like resetting my PC would have done anything. Like my PC's been turned off and has turned on since, but I wonder if that was the issue, or just like Call of Duty just doesn't like being recorded at all. Because I remember showing like zombies to a friend and my computer still crashed even though I was just sharing my screen. Really odd that that client is being really weird, Mr. Call of Duty. And that kind of sucks because that means that that's one less game to play with the already limited games that I can play since my computer is pretty poopy. It looks like the only thing that we really have left is Minecraft and like small things like design streams. We really have to utilize Minecraft. Well, that and like my Switch. But then again, Mario Kart was acting really weird. Don't know what was up with that. Don't know. Actually, maybe it would have been better to do like, yeah, we can just like fill in the colors. To say like maybe like the actual highlight could be next and having like the dark color be at the top. We'll go ahead and change that. Hold on. We can go like just fill in. But let me actually get this done. Oh, but the apron. We can make the apron not follow the rules. We can like remove that white part. The apron can just be the same color as the actual apron color. There we go. And now let's go ahead and get rid of the excess right here. Because I think I want it to be very like gradient like, where it starts off light and then it ends up being dark. And then we can have the ears just be the same color as my actual ears, like the whitish color that we have going on. Okay, so using this guy. And now that dark red. Is that what I want? Or what if we have each letter something different, like a different color? Like, what if this guy is this color? This guy is this color. And you can be like this brown color. Since that's going to be the color. Well, let's go ahead and color in the actual like apron itself. Let's get a better filling in color. Or filling in brush. There you go. I didn't like the bottom straps too. We got to worry about those as well. We can do that now. Let me just fill it in. Okay. There we go. Coolios. Let's go ahead and fill in this boy. Okay, there you go. So that's the apron. Kind of a messy, but it's okay. Okay. All right, so that's gonna be the brown part of the apron. I'm trying to think, do I want to have that tricolor? Do I want to have one color for everything? Maybe we can have like all the specialty stuff be one color, and then everything else be something else. So the tail, so the Y is okay. So the Y can remain white, or this sort of color that we have going on right now. This can remain this way. I actually don't mind the Y being like the special one because the actual letter itself is pretty special. The fact that it is actually plugged into the tail itself. So this could stay this color, but the other two don't have to be. However, the ears could be like this whitish color, right? We can kind of like color this in and color this in as like that special like white color. And then we can even make the apron this color as well. So the apron is going through like many changes, but this could remain that color. And then like the apron could also be this grayish color. So like all these special elements of the actual typography could be one color, and the letters themselves could be a different color. Now, as to what that different color is, that is an excellent question. I don't know what it would be, but Because now I'm second guessing the colors that we've already chosen. Because maybe they might be a little bit too bright. And I kind of want to reference, I do want to reference things like the old colors that we have. I really liked those colors. So what we can do is we can go ahead and play around when we get into Illustrator. We can go ahead and play around with the colors that we already kind of like have in our palette, because I think I actually like the colors of our current logo more than the colors that I've decided here. So what we can do is figure it out, like, well, take those colors and bring them here. So like the red looks a little bit different, or like the salmon color that I have right now. It's not the exact same as what we have with our current logo. And like the white, I prefer the lighter kind of like off-white color that we have of our current logo than we do right here. So it's one thing where like I like the colors of what we already have, but I like the design of what we have right now. So we can go ahead and like flip those whenever we get to it. Well, whenever we get to Illustrator, we can go ahead and do that. I do like not having a black outline as we do right now, kind of. I do like having just a straight up block of color. That's pretty nice. Cool. So another thing that we can begin doing as well is figuring out the layout of something like, okay, let's go ahead and like add another layer and just hide these guys real quick. So what we can do is figure out kind of I guess like the last thing that we can do is figure out the actual layout itself for the stream, right? So of course my character will be here in the corner, right? Whenever he comes in, my character, he'll be like right over here, and like he'll, do whatever VTubers do, right? Kind of like down here, little shoulder being like, hey guys, it's me, deal here, there we go, and like my ears coming up here. Cool. So what we can do is we can have the main part of the content, whatever I'm game or whatever I'm doing, be here. Not going to be 100% accurate because we don't really have the 16:9 like ratio. I'm just like eyeballing it, but it can kind of cut into my character here, kind of like what a lot of VTubers do. Have it cut into my character here. There you go. A little bit of a rough sketch here. And what we can have is the logo be up here. We could also have like Twitter information be here. And then we could have maybe chat take a primary stage here, as I don't really have anything for chat just yet. Chat can be here. Something like I can begin to switch on over to Streamlabs. Chat can be right there or something. But I think it's still pretty barren. What else could we add here? Character gonna be there. Logo top right. Chat will be bottom left. Maybe my character will take up, maybe like logo can be moved a bit more down, and like socials could be right here. Chat could be right here. And yep, so what we currently have, let's see, let me like switch to it real quick. It's gonna look a little bit weird to y'all, but yeah, because of how the iPad works. So this is what I have currently, right? So we can have a version of this, right, where my character takes up, kind of cuts into the screen a little bit, and my logo can kind of remain in that corner. Because right now I kind of have a lot of space for, model coming soon. I have a lot of space right there for that. So the actual logo can be moved down a bit more. And if we decide to keep something like the flowers, like that's something that I can play with in Illustrator, we can have it kind of, hold on, actually, yeah, you can kind of see it, right? We can kind of have it like come over here. I don't know, something like some kind of design comes out through here, and the logo can be moved down a little bit more. That can be sort of the case. But I do like how we have things like the outline of white, and like the flowers kind of like cutting into the actual into like I guess the game area, or like the main screen where you get to see the content. I like that. And of course, right, I have my socials in the sort of to the bottom left of my character. It's right there. And chat would be where, like, the far left, I guess you can say. Far bottom left, that's where chat would be. But I do want my character to make up a pretty big portion of what's going on right now. So I guess that's what we're going to be doing. For the most part, we're going to have our dude just, like, take a really big chunk of space. Like, something even bigger, like here. That's going to be our head. This is going to be, like, our neck. And because I did get a half body, so I do want it to take up a pretty significant portion of the screen. So dude's gonna be right over here, logo's gonna be right here, you know, right over here, and some type of something up there. Chat will be over here to the left, socials will be right there. This will be the main content, kind of outlined in white, how we currently have it. And I think that is pretty, yeah, that's pretty standard, I guess, for what most people have. And then the background will be, of course, animated. That's going to be done in After Effects. And things like followers or subscribers, I guess you could say, that's going to be something that I have to do within Streamlabs, because right now I'm using OBS, but switching to something like Streamlabs is something in the works as well, so that, you know, we can have those animations and I can like easily add chat to all of this. Yep, so that is kind of our roadmap, right? Creating, let me go ahead and come back to this. So our roadmap now is to, oh yeah, and then like, I guess assets for thumbnails. Because right now all of my assets are primarily within Illustrator, but Illustrator makes vector-based stuff. And what I use to make thumbnails is GIMP, which is kind of like what I like to call bootleg Photoshop. So yeah, bootleg Photoshop doesn't really respond a whole lot well to vector-based work. So I need to go ahead and convert like all of my assets to PNGs basically, so that I can make like thumbnails a lot easier. Yeah. So I think we're making, yeah, pretty good progress today. I think we kind of have a rough idea of what our logo is going to be like, especially like the R with the ears. The O is going to have the apron, and the Y is going to be turning into the actual tail itself. It's now just a matter of combining everything together. I think I can figure everything else out in Illustrator. Since I feel like I'm a lot more proficient with creating stuff in Illustrator than I am actually sketching and drawing it out. The only thing that I don't know about are these colors. And it's kind of weird because like the colors are different. If I look at them on the iPad and I look at it back on like my screen, it's lighter, or it looks a little bit different. Oh, it looks a little bit different. That's interesting. The color of the monitor is different or calibrated differently. But anyway, so yeah, I do like these colors better than I do these colors. And I'd rather wait till I actually get onto Illustrator for that, because I do have all those colors saved somewhere. So it's going to be a lot easier. So what we need to do, so the assets that we need to create within Illustrator are the ears, which I can probably just like nick them from my current model, like the current little character that I have right over here. I can probably take it from them, or actually, yeah, it'd probably be better if I just take it from him since they've already been completed, so might as well use them. As for the tail, could we repurpose the one from, I can attempt to repurpose the one that I currently have that's being used on the O. Or no, I want the Y to be the one that has the wait. What if we like combine both of them together? What if I take the O from this one and combine it with the new R with like the ears, and just like add I'd say at the bottom. We can just like use what we currently have. I mean, we don't have to go super all out and make something completely new, right? We already have a pretty good framework. All we really need to do is just change. Well, I do want to add the ears. That's for certain. I do want to add the ears to the Dio, to the R. Sorry, not just the Dio, but to the R. So what we could do is take what we already have, maybe. No, but I do want to like really have a rebrand. So yeah, I guess we'll just keep what we've designed right now within with our iPad. Keep this, because I do like having something different for each of the letters. So keep that. Coloring, that can actually just go away. Let's just focus on this. So have the ears be pretty profound, pretty big on the R. The Y, the tail can like kind of again like curve into, or we could even have it like, stop it. We could even have it, let's just move this down here so it stops it bothering me. We could even have it like stuff. fine. We could even have it like come down really down here, and then like come back up again. We can really make it like super exaggerated, this bottom part right here. Really like make it like a tail. And then this like apron could like be flowing, I guess. Kind of like that. With the O. Yeah, I like the way that this looks. I like the way this looks. I like the way that our new logo looks. Oh. You're in the wrong layer. Oh. Yeah, this is why I'm not an artist. I have like layers. Yeah, I have like a bunch of stuff going on. Okay, but this is good. I like the way this looks. Yeah, the colors, we're going to go ahead and use what we already have with our current logo. That's all that I'm really going to be taking. I might just like take the ears from my current model and put on the R, as I mentioned. Yeah, so that's pretty neato. So yeah, I think we have a pretty good foundation. Wait, put you right there. Pretty good foundation for what I want to be doing next. It's now just a matter of, and I might keep the whole like plus sort of theme. I might even keep like straight up this and just change the socials and the logo on the top right, and we should be pretty much good to go on that regard. Change this background thing. You see, like, I don't know if you saw it there, but it kind of stuttered. Maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, watch, it's gonna like stop for like a second and keep on going. Maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe I can live with that for now. You know, not terrible. But I think it's a bit more apparent when we switch to this screen. Yeah. But then again, it's still decent for someone like me who's doing everything by himself. This is not bad at all. And I think having a cute little logo here would be pretty nice. And like, this is kind of a dream, but sometimes like people's like logos are animated. Like what I want to learn how to, what I really want to learn is how to do like animate, like those like idle animations in After Effects. Cause like we can do something really cool where like the tail right here is like swinging side to side like slowly, or like the ears are fidgeting just a little bit, and maybe like the apron is like flowing kind of, right? Like there's like a wind or something. That'd be pretty cool to do within After Effects. I think that's like the program to use. I think that looks so cool. Or like have like an intro sort of like have the letters kind of like pop in, and like then have like everything, as I just mentioned, idle, like little idle animation. I think that'd be really, really cool. I need to figure out how to do that, because all I really know what to do with Illustrator is make already existing things move, or like bounce, or like kind of have a little, yeah, like kind of float in the air or something like that. That's all I can really like do right now in Illustrator. Kind of hard to describe, but I want to do things where like kind of like it swipes in, and like, or like a really cool intro, like transition, the letters pop up, and like, you know, the tail is fidgeting a little bit, and the ears are, or the tail's like swinging, the ears are fidgeting, and the apron is kind of flowing and stuff like that. And that's what I want to do for like this sort of, just as we're waiting, right, as I'm getting everything ready, it's just a nice cute little animation that plays. That's another thing that we need to do, but that's of course after the actual animation is created, and then, as you know, I'd say it could be done like down here or something. Yeah, I think we made good progress today. And I did allocate in 2 hours for this, but I kind of got finished. I finished a little bit early. I thought I was going to be spending a lot of time trying to figure out the design, but no, we actually got to where we want to be. And that's this. I mean, like, this is kind of like pretty final. Let's move it. This is pretty final to what the final thing is going to look like. All we really need to do now is like not clean it up, but I guess Illustrator, we're going to go ahead and figure all of that out. All right, we're going to figure what we need to do, you know, like making it flow. That's definitely a something we can decide at that point. Oh, yeah, I forgot, everything's like in a weird layer. There you go. Cool. Right, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with what we have so far. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and actually end it off here. I think it's been pretty nice of a design stream. It feels really good to be back doing something like design-wise. It's one of those things where I always feel like I'm not going to have a lot of fun, but I end up having quite a bit of fun making all these like designs. And now comes kind of my extra favorite part, which is going into Illustrator and actually like making it look really, really pretty. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And yeah, so that's going to be definitely tomorrow, as right now I'm kind of hungry and I have other little things to attend to, but I am pretty happy that I was able to get this done today, or get the main bulk of this sort of like design done today. And yeah, tomorrow will most likely be another Illustrator adventure. Don't know how long I'm gonna spend in there though, but it shouldn't take too long. I think everything is pretty easy to do. We already have a lot of the assets created. Even the colors have already been decided. It's just a matter of building everything and making it look pretty. And then after tomorrow, assuming we get everything done, tomorrow we can go ahead and, or not tomorrow, the very next day, we can finally maybe return back to gaming, right? What I might try later on today is figuring out what in the world went wrong with like Mario Kart. Make a little like private stream just to see like what happened with Mario Kart. I don't know why like it failed so bad. I think it's because there's people in my house who are also kind of like not streaming, but like, you know, streaming content. That might have been a contributing factor as to why the signal was so weak, or like why we kept on like, you know, not, it looked really, really bad. But yeah, anyway, so that is enough of me today. I'll go ahead and check you guys out in the next one, which is tomorrow around the same time. So like maybe 11, 12. Maybe I might actually sleep at a reasonable time and wake up at a reasonable time and not stream super duper late. But yeah, anyway, so I'll go ahead and check you guys out later. Bye bye. See ya. Bye bye.